Eh?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Mario.
Hello, long time.
Yeah.
I checked with Ellie today. He's going to be 79, not 80.
Oh, 79. Okay. Okay. That's still good.
But I wanted to check with him more than anything and see if he's with it. I said,
And
what year were you born? He said, again, you're asking me the same question? Because I did ask him before.
yeah. Okay.
So he told me 1944.
Yeah, 44. Okay.
So what did Stewart say at the end about him becoming a doctor? He was called for Vietnam.
Oh, well, yeah. So what happened? He finished medical school, and after he graduated, it was the Vietnam War. So they were drafting doctors to go to Vietnam.
Yeah.
But as he was going there to register, he saw there's a table there to join either the Indian Health Service or to work in a prison, and that way you don't have to go to Vietnam. So he chose the Indian Health Service. So he served
Okay.
2 years, I think, in Nevada or Arizona, someplace. He said it was
Wow.
terrible. The Indians were terrible.
Well, you know who did the same thing, but not for the same reason? The daughter of Effie Nissim.
Oh, what did she do?
She's a doctor, and she
Yeah.
did her internship in the Indian,
Oh, she did. Oh,
somewhere in the north, cold like hell, and
oh.
also a couple of years.
Yeah, you get some kind of benefit. I think they pay your scholarship, your tuition, or something like. There's some benefit to doing that because they don't have enough doctors on the Indian reservations.
I don't think she paid a penny for medical school.
Oh, really?
She got into YU with one of those special scholarships.
Yeah.
I think it was a woman who gave that money.
Yes. There's a woman who paid for women to go to medical school. Correct. Yeah. So she
Yeah,
got one of those. Good.
yeah,
Good for her.
yeah.
I think Effie's in Israel now. I got a text from him. He's in Israel.
Who?
Effie's in Israel now. Effie.
Yeah, yeah,
Somebody had a baby there.
His son?
I don't know the son. I think he has a daughter there too. No.
2 daughters and a
Two
son.
daughters.
And the 3rd daughter is here.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Alan.
Alange.
Alange, how are you?
My internet was on all last week. I couldn't get anything in. I learned the Gemara myself, but I couldn't get in. I was out. I felt very bad because I couldn't get on at all. I couldn't get on the whole week. And
No, but you had no power either, no?
I had no power, but that might have screwed it up. Since that happened, I couldn't get any power. I screwed up my whole internet.
Oh no.
But now it went back on, so thank God.
Oh, Mr. Walter.
Shavua Tov.
Shavua
Shavua
Tov.
Tov. Elazar, you're okay?
Was that?
Walter, you're muted.
I wanted to know if Elazar was okay because he was coughing a lot. That's all. Okay.
Okay, we're on Mem. We're talking about whether you need to use a blade, like a razor, versus scissors. Because it says tar lo yavol rosho. So to learn it from a mitzvah ef shechena danin kal mechar melachmer. Mitzvah is more chomer than nazir. A mitzvah has to shave all the hair of his body. A Nazir only has to save his head. So a Mitzora has to use a tar, but since it's more machmir, because he has to shave all of his hair, maybe you can't learn it to Nazir. So that's why you have to learn tar by Nazir. Rebbe Oimer, Einot Tzarich. We don't need tar for the final haircut that a Nazir takes. It says he cannot take a haircut with a tar until he finishes 30 days. So from there you understand that Torah Amra Akar Meloslo Tetik Lachasel B'tar. Means after you finish, this haircut has to be also with a blade. I vaksiv tar lo yavol rosho. And lo yavor, that it's any type of implement, even scissors. So to teach me lavar la b'shnei lavi. That means if a nazir during the 30 days takes a haircut with a blade, you have two lavim. Number one, you removed hair, where there's a lav no matter what you use. And there's a special lav that you use the tar. Now, in all the details of a nazir taking a haircut, Amrav Chiz the lil kois, that's even ba'achas. You cut off one hair, you get malchus. La'akev, it means if at the end of your nazir you take a haircut and you left some of your hair where you didn't fulfill your obligation of taking a haircut, that bishtayim. Meaning if you leave two hairs, if you leave one hair, it's okay. It's enough. If you left two hairs, you have not taken your haircut properly.
Really, and this is a side question, but and maybe silly. What happens if a nazir is totally bald? What happens at the end of the 30 days?
Well, you have to grow some hair in order to be a nazir.
Oh, okay,
You may not be able to be a nazir like that.
okay, all right.
Now, if he can't grow hair, I mean, if he's bald and he doesn't grow any hair, the question will be: can you establish Nezirus and just have the prohibition of wine and not being metamel mace? Remember, there was one man to Omar who said you can't become a nazir unless you get prohibited from all three.
Yes.
According to that mandomer, it might not work. But
Okay.
that's a good question. Now, listor means if you're in the 30 days and you went against the prohibition, you cut your hair, there you have to count a new 30 days only if you remove the majority of your hair. And that's with a tar. And that's only with a blade. Comes out the tar in, comes out you're not soiser Nezirus only with a blade according to Rav Chisda. The Gemara says Vaktani. Minayin the rabbi says Kolam Avir. How do I know that any implement that removes hair you're chayiv? Lo yavor. And that's any mechanism, not just with a blade. So how do you explain Rav Chisda? Ela ke'ein tar. That means when you use a blade, you think about the guys who become completely bald, like they put shaving cream on their skull and they shave it. So whatever you use, you're not going to be soiser unless you do it that same way. Tanya Amalchi. Nazir shetolash. If you pulled out your hair, mirate, osif safe. We said you scrubbed it. These mechanisms, you break your Nezirus if you, remember you said you get malchus even after one hair. but it doesn't necessarily break your Nazirus. We have to count again. You have to count again if you did majority of your hair. Uvitar. But it's got to be with a tar. Just like we said, if you left 2 hairs, you didn't complete the tiglachas completely. He held that even removing 2 hairs causes you to break the whole Nazirus. The halacha is you have to shave the majority of your hair in order to break the Nazirus. Tanan also. There are 3 types of people where it's a mitzvah to take a haircut. Nazir, Mitzora, and Leviim. In the Midbar, when the Leviim were mechanech to work in the Beis HaMikdash, part of the process was they had to take a haircut. The Kulan Shegilchu Shelo B'tar, if they didn't use a blade, or Shashayru they left 2 hairs, they didn't accomplish the tiglachas properly. Amar. Shloisha megalchim b'tiglachas mitzvah. 3 people take a haircut, and when they do it, it's a mitzvah. The Gemara says, why not pshita? It says that they have to take. Why do you have to? What kind of chiddush is that? Mao the same mishum of reisar who maybe you just it's the to'elet that's important, not the action. You have to end up with no hair, and therefore afilu sach nosa. That means even if you use like nair, like a lotion, you'd be yotze. Kamash wanted you're not yotze. You have to take a haircut with his blade. Tani v'kulan shegilchu shelo b'tar. And if you, in all these cases, if they took a haircut without a blade, they are not yotze. Bishma gabi nazir. I understand the din by nazir ksiv tar lo yavol rosh. It says you got to use a tar. Are you calling me? Because the Gabi Leviim ksiv veviru sara kol psara. It said beferish by the Leviim that they had to pass a blade over their skin. Element sar besar minam. Where is their beferush? It doesn't say in the pasuk that a mitzora needs a blade. So v'chite metesim Leviim. So maybe we'll learn it as a binyan av from Leviim. Ma Leviim shekain tunin tiglachas vein tiglachas el betar. Leviim need to take a haircut, and the haircut has to be with a blade. Afani aviyas a metzor shuton tiglachas vein tiglachas el betar. Since the Torah says you have to take a haircut, by Leviim it's with a blade, so by Mitzorah also. But a binyan av can be broken with svara. Ikle mifrach. Aaron HaKohen had to wave the Leviim. You have to pick up each Levi and wave him. The Mitzvah doesn't require Tnufa. Okay, says the Gemara, let's learn it from a Nazir. So Nazir needs tar. So I would say Leviim needs tar. But then we could when a Nazir brings his korbanos at the end of the Nazirus, he has to bring bread. A Mitzora's korbanos does not require lechem. Okay. But Tesi mitarvayo. We will combine Nazir and Leviim and learn it to Mitzora. Mehe Tesi. Tesi and Leviim, ala Leviim shkein tunufa begufa Nazir yochia. Because we asked by Leviim, maybe you can't learn it to Mitzor because there's no Tnufa. Well, Nazir doesn't have Tnufa. Nazir Yochia, because Nazir doesn't have Tnufa. Now, Mala Nazir can Korban Ton Lechem, Leviim Yochicha, because their Korban, they had to bring a Korban too, but no Lechem. So therefore, Chazra Din Lo Rizeh Krizev Lo Rizeh Krizeh. Each one is not unique. Atzara Shavish, but we look at the common denominator of the two. What's the common denominator that Levium and Nazir have? Shein Tu'unin Tiglachas. They require a haircut for Tiglachtan Besar. And the shaving has to be done with a blade. Afani obvious a mitzvah shuton Tiglachas for Tiglachtan Betar. So
What's the
that's how,
Sada Shav? What's for the Sada Shav for Levi? There's no Sada. That's not part of the group, right? The late by
Levi and Nazir are the two things that we bring together to teach by mitzvah.
so
Because
so what-
Levium don't have lechem. We asked the kasha, Nazir has lechem. Levium don't have lechem. Right? Mala Nazir can go to lechem. Levium Yochicho doesn't have lechem.
So what's the comment? So what's the Sada Shava by Levi?
Both require a haircut and both require a blade.
They buy lechem.
No,
Levi doesn't require
Torah
that.
writes ta'ar by Levium and by Nazir. So that's and the Mitzvah it says they need to take a haircut. So Badoch by those two, from each one of them by themselves, you can't learn it because Ikla Mifrach. But from the two of them, you can, because Ikla Mifrach, each one has something that the other doesn't have.
Can we say, by the way, Esa Dochalosa say in a case like this, these three, Esa Dochalosa, Esa Dochalosa say, they're both the Esa
So
of.
what we're trying to come out here, how do you know that a Mitzvah needs to use a straight blade?
Atar, right,
That's all the Gemara is trying to prove here.
right. But could there be saying that it's the fact that they require to shave is an Esa Dochalosa say?
There's no losa say here. There's
Losa of bringing a razor on your hair. That's the losa say. And SS to bring it for these
there's no
particular
problem putting a
cases.
razor. There's no problem putting a razor on your hair. It's only the payah that there's an isser, not on your head. We're not talking about shaving your beard here. There's no, right now we're not dealing with a lotas of any type. We're dealing with the mitzvah of tiglachas. And the mitzvah of tiglachas, the Bright said, needs a tar by all three. The Gemara asks, how do you know by mitzvah it needs a tar? It doesn't say tar by mitzvah.
Yeah.
So we try to learn it from binyan av, from one of them, from Nazir. Well, we can't because we said you need lechem, and mitzvah doesn't need lechem. By Levium, you can't learn it because Levium needs tnufa. And by mitzvah doesn't have tnufa. So, but by the combination of the two of them, Nazir doesn't have tnufa, but Levi does have tnufa. No, Levi doesn't bring lechem, but a Nazir brings lechem. So therefore, the two of them can be used to learn the limit of tar to mitzvah. That's what the Gemara has accomplished.
Yeah.
Amalei Rava Mibanish Ravashi. But you know what? I can ask a kasha on the tzara shava. The livrach malat tzara shava shven shekain ein korban bedolus. The Levi had to bring a standard korban. Made no difference what his financial status was. A Nazir has to bring a standard korban. There's no korban bedalus that if you can't afford it, you can bring birds. Toimer b'mitzorah karbona bedalus. But a mitzorah is different. If you didn't have money, you didn't have to bring animals, you could bring birds. So you can't learn it to mitzorah. Armalei Rava bar Mishar Shele Rava. That high Tanami Kora Omar, this Tana initially, Lilamdo Mitzorah Efshar, She'ein Dan Kamei Chomer Lachmer. Remember, when we tried to learn from Nazir, from Mitzorah, we couldn't, because Mitzorah was more machmir. The other Omar, Neilif Medina. Then later on, we said, well, let's learn a binyan av that if Mitzorah is Bitar, Nazir has to be Bitar. The question is, where did they get the din that Mitzorah was Bitar? Din Nami lo Yolif. because we don't have any kind of source that you're allowed to use a tar by mitzvah, or that you have to. So Amar Lei, Hahu, the Baraisa that said that we don't learn from mitzvah is Alibid Rabbanon, because they learn Tiglachas mitzvah from a different limud, from the fact that you're prohibited to shave your beard. And this Tana learns Alibid Rabbi Eliezer, that we don't learn Tiglachas mitzvah from the prohibition of cutting your beard. Now, what is this machlokas? This not. The Tana Kama says that you're not allowed to shave your beard because you're cutting the four corners, but you're only chayiv if you did it with a blade. Rabbi Eliezer Omer afilu liktu b'milka d'verhitni chayiv, because a blade creates hashchasa. It goes right to the root of the hair and destroys it. And Rabbi Eliezer says, no, you're chayiv even if you use scissors. And that you're not only chayiv if you use a blade. Now, my Tamai Rabbanon, why do the Rabbanon say that you're only over for pa'azakan with a blade? The Tanya. It says by Mitzorah, Yigalachas kol sa'aro, es rosho ve'eskano. The Mitzorah has to shave his hair of his head and his beard. Now, it started off by telling your hair. So if it says you have to shave off all your hair, I don't need zakano. I already said kol sa'aro. Your beard is concluded. So why did the Torah have to write zakano ma'atomad lomer? So lefisha ne'amar, it says by a Kohen, upa'az zakanam lo yigalech, that a Kohen normally leaves his beard. Yachol afilu mitzorah kain. What if a Kohen became a mitzorah and he has to come and shave? Maybe because upa'az zakanam lo yigalech, even as a mitzorah, he won't be able to cut his beard. Talmud Lomer zakano. That the Torah repeated it, that even though there's a general isser by a kohen to shave his beard, but by a mitzorah he can do it. Now, so where's the source for the chachamim that when a mitzorah takes a haircut, it's with a blade? Uminal and the betar, the Tanya. Upa'azakanam lo yigalech. It says by a kohen that the kohanim could not shave their beard. Now, to be over that lav, I might think you could be over that lav even if you use scissors. It says v'lo sashkis is pa'az kanecha, that it's got to be derech hashchasa. And with misparayim, it's not derech hashchasa. I might think you could use either the blade of a scissor or some other implement. How do you fulfill this? What kind of haircut creates hashchasa? That's when you use a straight blade, which goes so close to the skin that destroys the root. And that's the kind of haircut that a kohen is going to be over on, because it says v'lo sashkis. The Gemara says, who says maybe if you took a haircut with the scissors and by a mitzorah, he's doing a mitzvah. And maybe we're being told that even though normally tar destroys, and maybe you wouldn't be able to use it at all. If we're going to be told that using scissors is okay. Lishta kramine. Let the Torah be silent, not say anything, and not even say zakano. V'ano amino umagabi nazir di suraka avid. When he takes his haircut in the middle of Nazirus, there's an isser, and even safilachim chayiv. He's still, when a nazir takes a haircut, even with scissors, you're over the Nazirus, you're over the isser. Hacha de mitzvah like kol shekain. By mitzvah, where it's a mitzvah, that it should be a mitzvah and should be permitted to take a haircut with anything you want to use, not just a tar, but even scissors. Okay. Tomorrow we'll learn at 8 o'clock.
Okay.